Good morning, people, and back out again for a bit of a day camp. Gonna have some breakfast in the woods. What a glorious sunrise. It's just gone 7:30. Everybody's rushing off to work and to do what they do. So we're going our usual route down the path towards the flyover, and yeah, gonna have a chilled out morning. I've had to come out early today. I've got quite a lot of stuff to do later on, gardening related, sorting stuff out for community food growing projects during the year. So I thought I'd just whip out for a bit of sanity and chill out time. So here we go through the flyover again, and despite the fact that the sun's burning beautiful orange, it's far from warm. It's probably about -2, -3 or something like that, but we don't care. We've got everything we need in my 50-litre rucksack, so just go up this little muddy hill, careful not to fall over, and let's have a peek over at these woodlands again like we did on the last video. And even though this particular woodland's very urban, I've seen wild deer down here a few times, and rabbits. So it's certainly a functioning woodland. And there's lots of deadfall wood there for anybody who might have a little camp. But yeah, what a lovely morning. Right, so on to the next spot, and we'll get back to you in a minute or so. Right, and here we are back at the woods, just getting on through this little gate thing here and onto the path. With it being really frosty, path's not so muddy today, which isn't a problem. So we're going to try somewhere different today. I want to try and build up as many different spots in this woodland as we can for day camps and wild camps. Always good to check out what's about in terms of resources, whether you're exposed by the weather or whatever. So yeah, glad to be back in the woods again. Bloody cold, but I really don't care. So just have a quick pan round. Right, and onwards. Right, a bit further up the path, and here's our horse again. I think just make out it's a bit dark over there. We're just panning a little bit. Morning, fella. Right, let's go and find a good spot. We'll get back to you again in a few minutes. Right, we're about 1/4 mile up the path, and this particular bit here where there's this glorious winter sun, to the right is where we've had stealth camps, and to the left is where I've had a breakfast and brew camp. So we're not, like I say, we're not going to stop here today. We're just going to admire the beautiful winter sun for a minute. Absolutely amazing. And then we'll carry on. Right, onwards. So just thought I'd stop a little bit, just to have a look at this this uprooted tree. It's happened in the storms last year. Now, if you look at these, this York stone here, this is from the Victorian era, runs right the way along. But if you look where the tree's gone over, there's a whole slab of it there attached to the root. It's got to weigh 1/2 ton or more maybe. And the sheer force of the wind and the tree going over, and the fact that the roots are connected to it, has just dragged the things straight up. So quite incredible, really. And then we've got some ferns there that sort of quickly moved in and attached themselves. So yeah, very strong root system indeed there to be able to lift that thing up. Well, let's go and find a spot for a brew. I'm getting a bit thirsty now, so I'll catch you in a minute. So further down the path, and the reason why I've just stopped here, I've noticed there's lots of willow here, and somebody started coppicing some here by the looks of it, which I might well take a little bit home after I've had a brew, as I need some for one of the projects that I'm working on. So I'm hoping that find somewhere a bit quiet and off the beaten track for a brew in the next few minutes. I've got to be careful with bits of this, really, with it being quite waterlogged. But there's also plenty of dry areas as well. So next time I switch this cam on, with any luck, should have a little fire going. Hopefully. Bring you back in a minute. Right, well, I found my breakfast spot, and there's a bit of fallen tree there that I'm going to sit down on while I'm eating my breakfast. Could have bought a chair with me, but I don't like carrying tons of stuff unnecessarily. Plenty of wood about. It's a little bit close to the path, but I'm not too bothered. It's still fairly early. I shouldn't think there'll be any dog walkers out. Plus the path's full of ice, so not particularly a good path to take your dog for a walk on. So yeah, not a bad spot this. Like I say, I've got somewhere to sit. There's wood everywhere. Got the sun shining through the trees. Let's get some brekkie on. We've got a flame here, good old ferro rods. Right, so we've got our little fire going here, and as you can see, it's roaring some. So we've got water on for a brew, and we've got some corn sausages, onions and garlic frying in the little zebra pan. And we're going to sling some mushrooms on in a few minutes. So all's good at the moment, and should be sat down chilling out with a brew in the next few minutes. Come back to you in a bit. It's a great little spot here. Brew's ready. Just finishing off cooking breakfast. That should be ready in a few minutes. And absolutely nobody about. I don't suppose you'd expect there to be this early in the morning. But due to it being frosty, if there's any dog walkers or anybody in the area, I'll be able to hear them coming from a long way because of the crunching of the ice underfoot. So it's not really a problem, this little day stealth camp. I don't think anybody would be that bothered if they found me anyway. But again, beautiful morning. Right, so I'm just going to have a fag and a brew, and then on to breakfast in a few minutes, hopefully. And we'll get back to you in a minute. So again, this area where I've decided to stop and have some brew and breakfast, there's lots and lots of saplings everywhere. It's not a great cam this, so you probably can't see them, but there's literally hundreds of them. And I mentioned this in the last video, and I do think long term for forest management, we should allow green woodworkers and bodgers to manage the woods. They know exactly which timber to coppice. They've got a deep understanding of woodland ecosystems, and it could create employment for people. But it's a lot better than many of the UK's woodlands are just absolutely overrun with saplings because they're not being managed, and it just seems like a very easy and ecological solution to allow these green woodworkers into the woods, as they'd have done centuries ago. It's a low-cost ecological solution, and people are going to get a lot out of it. You know, you can imagine groups coming down and training with the bodger, training how to make chair legs, how to use pole lathes, etc. they're all old skills, but they're all very useful skills, particularly in this throwaway culture that we've got, where people, some people want things that are made properly. They want things that have been made with a bit of heart that's gone into it. And I can't think of a great way, really, of managing woodland and creating these products that have got built-in longevity to them, as opposed to what's that word? As opposed to built-in obsolescence, which I'm sure many of you are probably aware of, where you've bought a radio or a clock or something, an electric clock, and it's lasted for about a year, 2 years, and then suddenly it's clapped out. And there isn't enough resources on the planet to carry on in this way. So we need to start building things to last like we used to. So just thought I'd share those thoughts with you. You can hear the pan bubbling away. I think it might be time for breakfast in a couple of minutes. Just keeping my brew warm there on the fire. And the sun's still putting out its wonderful winter rays. All is good. And there we have it, breakfast, which consists of corn sausages, fried onions and garlic. And I've just used the last of the water there to try and clean the pan out a bit before I go back. So just move it over a little bit into where the flames are. Might take some of the grease off and some of the carbon. So yeah, really looking forward to this on this lovely winter's day here in Bolton. Lovely. See you soon. Alright, well, I've had my brew and breakfast, and I've had a good old tidy up of where the fire is. Leave no trace again. Nobody can see that I've been here at all. So let's go for a tour around the woods for a bit on this lovely day. So that's where we had a brew there and something to eat, and off into the woods we go. And I was hoping to copy some Willow today, but I have got quite a lot to do back at home, so there's about a month anyway that I can come back and copy some before the shoots of spring start coming through, although I'll probably do it next week. And lots of deadfall here for fires, so we're going to do quite a few camps here, I think, in the spring and summer. And one of the things I really love about the winter, and I keep banging on about, is the glory of the winter sun. It always seems to have something a bit more golden about it than the summer sun, and just beautiful the way the sun's reflecting off these trees here. And how anybody who's human can't be touched by this is beyond me. It's just absolutely stunning. It's going to be a bit tricky getting down here, but sure, it'll be fun. So we'll just find an area that's a little bit safer and less muddy. Quite steep, that, actually. Might move along quite a bit, really, where it gets a bit more gradual down here. But yeah, what a great wood this is. And interesting here where this tree's fell. Probably quite dangerous, this, really. Maybe need to get down here with a saw and see if we can make it a bit safer. But as I say, there's lots of wind and deadfall here, which is, again, it's useful for woodland ecosystems. the fact that it's the deadfall's providing mulch and habitat, so it's no bad thing really. And of course, with all these saplings about, if a few of these trees get blown over, it's not really a problem in the bigger scale of things. Just make my way around it. It's getting a bit slippy here actually. So if you suddenly see the cam go into the air and you see the sky being filmed, then you know I've gone over on my arse. I'm trying my hardest not to. So yeah, it's fairly safe here. Plenty of saplings there near the path. An unbelievable amount of them really. Right, let's get down the hill and we'll come back in a minute. So we've just come up into this clearing, and that natural pond there, I don't know if you can see it with the haze from the sun, absolutely frozen. And it is very cold today, but I'm quite glad in a way. At least we've had something this year that we can actually define and call a real winter. We've had lots of ground frost, which is going to be great for gardening, as it's going to have seen off slugs and slug eggs over the winter, and the eggs of insects that are likely to chomp away on your crops. So yeah, great to have a normal winter again. Absolutely frozen solid. Another little pond that Mother Nature's made there by the looks of it. And all the saplings all around the bank there. All in a good place really if they need something to eat and drink. And I'm not quite sure the way out that I'm going today, but not too bothered really. It's not a massive woodland. I don't think it'd be easy getting lost. And as we make our way towards the road, you can just hear the thrum of traffic in the background. People are still on the way to work. This bit looks familiar. It seems that I've ended up on the usual way out that I've shown on my last couple of videos when I've come down here. Now this is quite a good spot here because it's getting a lot of the sun from the south. It's not boggy. There's even grass growing in between the trees, which I'm sure the growth of the grass will be curtailed once the trees start sprouting leaves. Few birds about, not too many. I'd have thought there'd have been a lot more, to be honest. And again, we've got even more bulbs sprouting up as we approach spring. I mean, it's beautiful now down here, but in a couple of weeks when there's a bit of colour and vibrancy, it's going to be something else. And of course, I'll be down here with my little fire, cooking, making myself a brew, and just generally enjoying the chill of the wood. So again, good people, I bid thee a farewell, and I hope you've enjoyed my little excursion into the woods. Like I say, it was an early one today. I've got quite a lot of stuff on when I get home. But I'm really glad I came out. Just amazing. Right, okay folks, well thanks for watching, and we'll catch you soon in these magical woods. Bye for now.